there should be a...
Okay, I clicked the button. And
Are you on the blue? Go to the gear. Go to the gear.
I don't see one.
By the audio. Oh, you're doing something now.
I hit the unmute button. Because for that other camera is set as the main camera, so it's not.
Okay. So there should be an option if you want to add the blue, but if everyone can hear us now, until she can figure that out. But yeah, the blue is the one that we probably should be on.
Want more coffee? Blue what?
The blue microphone.
It's not showing anything. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind.
Whatever. It's working.
Okay.
I just wanted to mute one camera versus the
You take some time off from doing this live, and this is what happens. All right. So anyway, we're going to start showing some of the items that we have available for this holiday season, starting with some of the more popular ones. We've had a lot of people asking about this one, so I'm going to go ahead and show it. Let me get this set up here.
Yeah, no, that's...
And we can go to a single shot on that so people can see it nice and clear. And we also have graphics.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Go to single shot.
I just know.
What?
Oh. Want some more coffee?
There's really not. It's not like the other one. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, click on the solo or the single and stuff like that. See, we're gonna get used to this again. I promise. We've even got our graphics from our show, Monster Manor, in case you haven't seen that. And our production assistant, Ian, is going to help us out with the camera. So if you could, it's...
I moved it.
Okay. Yes, perfect. It's a little bit out of focus, though. I don't know why it's doing that. Reset the focus on Molly here. And you might have to push it a little bit further forward so we get a good image of old Molly.
There you go.
So this one is probably one of the more sought after figures that we have shown here. We do have some good shots in there in the overlays. I uploaded a bunch of pictures that are going to be a little bit clearer than what you'll see on the cameras tonight. But this is the Mola-Ram that we wish Hasbro would have made. But Hasbro, I guess, canceled the line before it really even got going. 25 figures was it. And they stayed away from figures like Mola-Ram and the Thuggies and, of course, the bad guys from Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade. So...
you did not put those pictures in here.
Oh, you'll probably have to upload them like I told you. You go to the...
You don't know.
I told you about that.
Why?
Okay, you go to add and then... Because we didn't have time.
You didn't do them and...
No, we were busy all day. We're trying to get orders out and all of that stuff. Yeah, so... And Erin's...
anything to decompress.
She needs more coffee. She needs some Boost Bar. I think that's what we all need. Let's relax. This is supposed to be fun, right? So anyway, Mola-Ram here. We're only doing 15 of them for this run. This is a very limited run just to fill some of the voids in people's collections. And as such, it's going to be...
of course, they're not here.
It's not. It's in the downloads.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's in order. It's like when the photo was taken, so you got to scroll down. Scroll down to all the available images, and it'll pop up, I promise. So, huh?
I did scroll quite a ways.
Well, it should show it. I don't know why it wouldn't be, because I did see it in there in the downloads. We're kind of doing this live, but of course, but adding those pictures as well. So Mola-Ram here, he is not a cheap figure. I will tell you that. But in preparing for what this is, I'll let you know that there are a lot of pieces to this. This is a fully articulated action figure with all of the action figure articulation points that you would see with the standard Adventure Series figures. So that means the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the hips, the waist, knees, and ankle. No, not ankles. That's the only thing that I didn't articulate, um, because the ankles are always a weak point on the figures. Um, and most of the ones that we're doing, we're not going to have them where they require articulation. Now, future ones may have that, but on Molaram, he is stationary with his ankle articulation. Everything else is articulated. It's got the double jointed neck and everything else you would be expected to enjoy from the Adventure Series figures. Now, these are made with a little bit different material. It's a stronger material, stronger resin, that allows for a little bit of flex without breaking. However, these are not toys. This isn't something like you would see for ages 7 and up. This is a collectible figure, and as such, you would your regular action figures. They can be posed, they can be all of that, but you definitely want to take care when you're moving them around. Now, the pre-orders that we have available on these, like I said, there were only 15 available. I don't want to overextend how many we do. And I believe 3 are already accounted for. Is that correct? 3 are already accounted for. So the way that we're doing this is you'll have to pre-order this figure. We're hoping that once the pre-order closes, when we hit 15 figures, or once it expires, we're probably going to set an expiration date of, what did we say, December?
Between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, like December 31st, January 1st, because everyone's having a holiday weekend then. So yeah, that's when we will close the pre-order. So no more pre-orders after that. And then we will go into production. And we're hoping that production will be concluded within 30 to 45 days. Bear in mind that each one of these is hand painted. Each one of them has hand sewn. The robe is hand sewn.
Okay, this thing is just freezing up. Once I get back to a certain level, I can't.
Okay.
I can't get any photos.
Okay, so we're having difficulties pulling up the photos. So we're not going to worry about any more of the photos, but we will show you as much as we can on these figures. Is it like totally frozen now?
No, it's just freezing when I'm trying to scroll back to where the photos are, because they're
okay.
way back there.
Okay. Well, I think what we'll do then is, all of these are available. The photos that we have so far, they're all available on our studio page on Facebook. So if you go to the Scott Fensterer Sculpture Studio, you'll be able to locate our studio page, or you can follow the link off of Scott C. Fensterer. All of our links are on www.monstermanor1313.com or www.scottfensterersculpture.com, and that'll have all of our all of our social media links that you can find all of these photos. Now, what will make this extremely unique is these first 15 that we have going up. They're going to have an exclusive set of accessories, which are kind of fun. If you were alive in the 80s and you saw Temple of Doom when it was first out in the theaters, there's a company, LJN, that made action figures, if you want to call them that, for the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom line. Consisted of 3 figures. Indy, of course, and then it had Mola Ram and a Thuggy Guard. They were interesting figures. If you remember those from back in the day, they weren't really highly articulated, and they had rudimentary accessories at the time. So what we did, just as a fun thing, and he didn't really have these in the movie, but we have the golden staff with the skull on top, just like it was in the LJN. I don't know if you can see that. Is that looking like it's clear? So you have the staff and you have the knife. Now, the dagger and the staff, I don't believe he ever had them in the movie, but it was just a neat thing that you could get with the figure. Okay. So anyway, we do have the staff and the knife as well. And of course, this comes with all the different hands. The staff will have an exclusive hand. The staff is in two pieces as well. So you see that this top part will come off. Then you can slide that hand in place because it's a tight hand, so it can hold this well without dropping it and risking breakage. And then you just slide that back on once you have the hand in place, and you're good to go. Also, it's going to have an exclusive hand for holding the knife. Those two hands will only be available with the 15 pre-orders that we get on these. So, what were we looking at as far as people? Are they joining? Have they joined? Okay. So if you are able and you're watching this and you're from any of the Indiana Jones groups, if you want to put that out there and share it to the group so other fans can see what we're doing here, because we don't want to have people miss out on this, because this we've had a lot of people ask about the Molaram figure. So, and I wish that it was clearer. Oh my gosh, it looks like mud. But yeah, he's fully articulated, and also with the three different.
Turpin says, "I've been meaning to message you. I need one." Okay, well, Greg, there is message us, and because it's open.
Yes, it is open. Open pre-orders now, and he does have a clear burning heart. That's a separate accessory. You can put that in the hand, and right now it has the heart holding hand on there. It comes with three head sculpts, which the head sculpts are really important because Amber Fensterer, if you were familiar with the actor, he's an incredible actor and incredibly emotive, and he had different expressions that he had throughout the movie. And again, all of these photos are available on the studio page on Facebook. All of those links, I think we even can do a scroll at the bottom so you have that link, but it's on the Facebook page, and it's the Scott Fensterer Sculpture Studio. But we have really, really good pictures on there that you can review from multiple angles. But it has the three different expressions that really stood out in that movie. Kind of like the very stoic, menacing looking Amber Fensterer, and then we also have the smiling.
I don't know why the camera's so fuzzy. You may need to just.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's like that, but yeah, let me. I'll see if I can show it with a little bit more detail. So this one is the kind of stoic head. We'll wait until that comes up. How's that looking? Is that better?
If you stop moving, it comes in focus.
Okay. So that's the stoic head.
No, that's focusing on you, not the head.
Okay. Well, I don't know what else to do then.
Greg is apparently a friend of Charlie Flat.
Oh, I know Charlie Flat. He is. He got me. He got me on Twisted Toy Fair Theater, formerly Mego, Twisted Mego Theater. But he got me on that around the time he was starting Flat World Toys, and he got overwhelmed with working on the great lines that they had, like the Dracula and I believe the Phantom and the Uncle Sam, and he asked if I wanted to help out with figures on that. So yeah, Charlie and I go way back. He's an awesome dude. But anyway, yeah, the stoic head is included in this as well as the evil, menacing smile. And then, of course, the head that's on there, which is like the full-on maniacal, crazy-looking thing. Now, if you look, I'm going to pull this over here for 1 second because I want to take the headdress off. The headdress is removable. Now, the way that I work this is there are magnets that hold everything in place. The reason I went with magnets is because if it were a traditional joint in some of these cases, you risk breaking.
Are you going to continue to use the magnets? I thought you were going
to. Some joints are going to have the magnets. The ones that like shoulders, knees, that sort of thing, those are going to have traditional joints. We're keeping just the joints that we're keeping with the magnets are the ones that you are probably going to use the most to take things on and off and that sort of thing. But as you can see, the headdress is separate, and it's got some flex to it. We use our new flexible resin, so they are a little bit more impact resistant than some of the resins on the market. And this is, it's something that we've probably started using within the last couple of months, and we've had a lot of success with the tests, especially with the jackets. We're using a variation on that with the jacket material, and that one we have the flexibility that you would need for putting it on and posing. We have thermoflex technology with this, though, that if you heat it up, the material actually softens. So it gives you more latitude with being able to put that on and off without damaging your figure or the accessory. So he's going to have that as well on all of his parts, the legs especially. We want those to be really strong. Hands, head, all of that stuff is going to be this new force material. So I'm really, if you've been following us for any length of time, this is a figure that we've been working on for like over a year. We have gone through a lot of tests. I don't like putting something out without really testing it and finding out all the little possible things that could happen. Whether it's going to be any kind of discoloration over time, we test that. We test how does it move? How does it, with changing the things out, how easy is it going to be? Is there anything chipping? So this is going to be a very high-end figure, but it's been so sought after, and I knew it was going to be a little bit expensive because of the time it takes to do each one, but I didn't want to put it out when we were still testing things and getting it to be the best figure that we possibly can. So if you've purchased anything from us in the past, you know that that's kind of like I'm kind of OCD about that, and I try to get the best possible product that we can for your dollar, because you're spending a lot of money on these. You want them to last and be able to be displayed. So Molaram, like I said, $325 plus shipping, and Molaram is going to be open. The pre-order is going to be open. What's that?
You can't see anything down there. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put it back up here. I was just getting ready to change. But we do have to figure out why that's so foggy looking at that image. But yeah, the Molaram, the pre-order is open only until December 31st. And then whatever we have, we're going to make at that point. If we sell out at the 15 pre-orders that we have, then that's it. We're not going to be coming back to this figure anytime soon, because we have others that we're working on, including the German mechanic. We've got Thuggy Guard, the chief guard, played by Pat Roach. So we got the two Pat Roach figures back to back. And then we also have in development of course, Dietrich. We had to do Dietrich. He was like one of those characters that I don't think he really even figured back in the original line, and then in the 2008 line, I think they kind of had to really make them fairly, nondescript, shall we say. So the one that we're working on is going to be accurate in every way. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to do with the insignia, because it is a very hot topic among collectors. Do you do it screen accurate, or do you risk making people upset about what it is, what it stands for?
Because we have two cameras, that it chooses one to be better quality than the other, because I tried to change the visual quality on it to like high definition, and it didn't want to let me. So
yeah, I'm not sure, because that
telling
one
me that it's too much for the computer to handle, and it will.
Oh yeah, for high def, we're only able to broadcast in the I think the 750 anyway. But
yeah, but only
chances
on one camera,
are, I mean, that's one thing that I hate about this automatic focus, unfortunately. But hopefully you can get an idea what we're talking about with this. And like I said, it does have all the articulation points. These are actually, the bodies are 100% new sculpt. So the Amish Puri looks like Amish Puri. It's got his muscle tone, his overall physique. The Pat Roach that we're working on, the German mechanic, and the chief Thuggy Guard those also have his anatomy rather than just a standard figure, even down to the kind of wound that he has, or the scar that he has at his deltoid pec area. So I'm kind of OCD when it comes to this stuff, and I try to pack as much detail as I can in stuff like that. And the D trick is going to be no different. But I think the only way that we can do this and make everyone happy is to also offer D trick with no insignia. That you can say, I don't want any kind of symbolism on it, or anything like that. The insignia, the military insignia, and we can accommodate as far as that goes. So that's our Mola Rum. If you're watching this in playback, please feel free to message us to confirm how many we have left.
Because first run.
Of the first run. Yeah, like I said, it's not to say we will never come back and do another run, but if we do that, it's not going to be anytime soon.
No, it's not going to be right away.
Yeah.
Don't say anytime soon, just not right away.
Because we've got, since we did this one and released the photos of the other ones, we have had so many people ask for certain figures, and they are very good ideas and very good characters. And you can imagine, if you've collected this line, how frenzied people are to get the figures that were not made. And it's kind of disappointing, because we waited decades for this line. Even when I don't know if you guys remember, but Disney came out with like an exclusive. You could only get it at the Disney parks, but it was like a 5-inch indie figure, and it was cool at the time. Everyone loved it. Then they put out a 6-inch, and it was only one shot. They did the 6-inch, and I believe they also did a Temple of Doom version. Both of those were in and out so fast.
Say hi to Howard.
Howard, Titanium Steve Howard. Mm-hmm. Hey, Howard, how are you doing? So, but yeah, they had very limited release with those. So, of course, when Hasbro announced the Adventure series, with the coming of Dial of Destiny, everyone lost their collective minds that they were going to be able to have all the characters that they always wanted. And what we got was a line of 25 figures, about half of which were Indiana Jones. And then, of course, you got core figures like Salah and Marion and Short Round and, the Indy's dad. So I'm not going to say that they didn't do us right with the figures that they offered, but it's disappointing that they killed it after, 25 figures. So that's the whole reason that this came about, was because people were just saying, we got to have more figures. So I know I wanted Mola Ram. Temple of Doom is one of my favorite films in the series, so of course I want to have the bad guy from that.
And Greg wants to know, just one last question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to be doing a Willie Scott?
Yes. That one, what I'm probably going to do, because there were so many different styles, that she had the dress in the beginning, she had the tuxedo outfit, she had the kind of Indian-inspired outfit, the sacrificial outfit. So what one do we choose? So I think that one we're probably going to do like a poll around the time that we actually make it. And that way you guys will be able to decide that. Currently what I have is a rough face sculpt and the body shape. And then from there we will decide, based on what you guys say, what you want. I mean, we can do all three, because we don't have the holdups that a lot of the toy companies have. And I do want to give something that that people want. So those will probably be the three choices. All right, yeah, so we're going to move on to the next item, because we do have other ones that we want to show. Some are indie, some aren't, because this is kind of like an all-encompassing holiday show. It's probably going to be your last opportunity to get this before Christmas, because we're down to like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks before Christmas, and we want to be sure to be able to have enough time to...
You won't be able to get this. You'll be able to order it.
Right, the Mola Ram,
things,
yes.
Some of them you may be able to get before Christmas. That we should, if they're in stock, we can ship them ASAP.
Yes, and most of the items that you are going to see tonight are in stock, or they're ones that we regularly stock. So fear not.
They cannot have our current Lily Scott because she's...
Yes. But yeah, the Molarama is in a different ballpark because these take a long time to do. In
It's a
fact,
custom collectible.
oh yeah,
I
and
mean, we sew the cloth fabric clothes and everything.
yeah,
So.
it's got all the bells and whistles though. It even has like I'll kind of I feel like QVC here, but this is an idea of the robe. It's made just like his was. So if you remember the wrap that he had, it was pretty extensive, and then this one has a snap on the side that you can actually remove that or reverse it because he actually had the ceremonial robe, which was like that, and then if you remember, his robe changed a little bit, changed direction when he was on the rope bridge. So you can actually remove this, flip it around, and then you have the rope bridge version of the same sari, I believe it was called. Or the men have a different name for it, I think. But yeah, all of these.
He's got like pants underneath.
Yes, he does have.
Man pants.
He does have pants and fully sculpted. In fact, let me go ahead and I'm going to be gentle here, but I want to show you what we are talking about. It is. Yeah, it comes with all the neck. There are a lot of parts to this. I mean, if you've got to pay for something, I want you to get your value. That's really, really important with me. So this is the prototype. So the joints are still like the handmade joints and everything. So the new ones that we have all of the updated joints, the updated material. Everything is 100%, authentic to the figure. So just to give you an idea, the detail on the necklace is 100% screen accurate. And then, despite all of the different hands, he does have very nice usable hands. But again, we'll have pictures more of this, shortly. But the torso is even double jointed, so you have the ability to pose that a little bit within that rocker. Again, this isn't something that a lot of custom figures have, or you make do with what you have access to. Like a lot of people were making custom figures using Tamura Morrison, the bald Boba Fett figure, and it works. It's okay. A lot of people, that's all they can get, and obviously, not everyone is going to be able to invest the money that this costs, in production. And I really apologize for that because, I like to make things affordable. But at the same time, the hours and hours. I mean, this one, when we were going through the process for the, for the prototype, seemed like weeks, trying to get everything right, to find all the data that we could on his dress and everything and how it worked. Even looking up YouTube videos on how the actual dresses are the robes are what do they call it? They go in a certain thing like a wrap. For the women it's a sari, but for the men it's another term. I can't remember what it is, but there's actually a traditional way of wrapping it. So with this you can do both versions of that. So like John Hammond said, we spared no expense. It really is a beautiful figure, and if we can't get it from Hasbro, this is the next best thing. All right, so we will visit back this at one other time, and probably towards the end of the show, because we do have a lot of items that we're going to be kind of showing you tonight. And all of these, by the way, these are painted with better than what you normally would associate with custom figures. This is like, because of my history with toy companies and that sort of thing, this figure is like you're getting a prototype, an action figure prototype. It's about as accurate and about as similar to that as you can get. So next one I'm going to move on to is another one of our very popular items. This is the Covenant Spectre. Now, if you remember the final scenes of Raiders of the Lost Ark, there was this ghost that came out of the Ark. And it was, they opened it up, they were looking right at it, and all of a sudden these spirits come out. I don't have to tell you if you're an indie fan. So with this, I tried to capture that moment when it goes from the beautiful ghosts, the serene looking female that comes up, and of course Belloc is beautiful, and Tote steps up and he's looking, and then all of a sudden it turns to this, where you see that face of death, that vengeance specter. So what I wanted to do with this is give it a way of displaying it for as many people the way they want to display these things. So this is actually shipping with the 2 heads, with the hair. So you're going to get that wispy hair like it had, which, cool trivia thing, it was all shot underwater. This was like a silk robe and everything, and they shot it underwater, so it kind of moved and everything. So we tried to keep that same fluidity with this. It is done in a transparent resin, so if you wanted to light it from beneath and that sort of thing, you could. So it's got this base, which is kind of like a standalone base. If you don't have the arc, or you are waiting to get the rest of the arc, or you just want to display it, by itself, you can do it this way. Now, the way that I also have it is you have this insert piece, which, big surprise, it goes into the arc. So the way this fits in is the arc, it's an assembly. If you remember, it was the build, what do they call it? A build an artifact. So I wanted to also give the option. So this will actually fit into your arc, like so. Pretty snug. And then what you will do, make sure that you hold your Covenant Ghost, or just pop it off while you're reseating it. But this middle part will come off from the lower part, and then that piece you can insert, and there's only one way you can do it, but it inserts right into the base of the arc. And then once you reassemble this, which again, it's plug and play for the most part, and I'm going to see if I can do this. So then you have it actually coming out of the arc.
And when she's like that, she should probably have her pretty face on anyways, because when she came out, she was pretty, and then she started to get scary.
Yep. She does loop around and gets them all. So
I'm going to show them how simply the face pops out and switch from face to face.
I can do that because that was really important. I wish it was more in focus, because I mean, the beauty, you can even see like a raw silk, almost like a fabric pattern on the clothes, which are extremely fluid. I mean, I tried to make this, like I said, flowing. I wanted it to have all the...
And on that camera, it also shows it much whiter looking than...
because the lighting...
more of a ghostlier...
It's almost like a silver gray, with emphasis on like the hollows of the face. Of course, those are going to be, a darker gray, but there's like a silver shimmery gray all over it. And then, of course, you can see through it for the most part. If you light it up, it's going to glow beautifully. It's not quite so transparent that it's annoying, but it does have that translucence to it. And then within the resin, there's also mica powders that give it that shimmery, ghost-like image. Now, this is a resin that will react to UV. We are coating it with a UV, you can't say it's UV proof, but it's UV resistant. But still, if you're a collector of things, you're not going to put this in full sunlight in your detolf case. So what we have is, this is your body, and then the head, you just kind of carefully move back and forth, and there's a peg system. So it's got a peg in the back, and then in here you got your socket. The hair is attached to the body. So whether you have the beautiful specter, or this one, the evil specter, it just pops right in, seats in there, and then you have the beautiful specter, or beautiful ghost. So again, tried to give you, if you got to pay for something like this, you should get the most bang for your buck. And when I do something like this and design something like this, I try to present to the collector what I would want to see. That doesn't always jive up, but in this case, I want to give people the options of displaying that with the beautiful face and with the hideous specter. God, I wish that this was in it's terrible that it's so out of focus, and it looks like it's leaning just because of the angle, but it does not lean. It's pretty straight up and down on it. But that is what we're looking at as far as the
Thank you, Howard.
the design.
You said we're super talented.
We're super what?
Talented.
But thank you. I do appreciate that. But that is the beautiful
He's no
ghost.
schlub himself, so.
Howard's
no schlub himself.
Oh, no,
He's
no.
Talent. But
Yeah.
I digress.
And we love Havoc props as well. He has his own prop company and excellent stuff coming out of that studio. So keep him in your sights as well, because he does a lot of local filmmaking, and we got to support our own. So it's getting harder and harder to make a buck in this industry. So support local theater, support local filmmaking.
Okay,
But that's our ghost, and she right now, introductory price. We don't know what's going to happen in the future because, of course, everything is changing as far as tariffs and everything like that. So right now, we're trying to keep it as affordable as we can. $50 complete. We're not really offering this one as a kit.
Arc.
No, she does not come with the arc. You will need to get the arc on your own. But in the first series of figures, it came with Indiana Jones, Marion, Salah, Tote, and Belloc. And if you got those 5 figures, you had all the parts to the arc. So this is just that Hasbro arc. Very, very simple, very, easy to put together. And this arc, the arc insert is made specifically for the Hasbro arc. So if you have that part, boom, you're done. You just put this right in. It drops right in.
If you don't, you just put her on the other base, and you're good to go.
Yep, you put it on the alternate base. And both are kind of, like I said, this is hollow, but it's transparent. I wanted to try to do it in time for this live, but you can actually put a super bright LED. It is hollow, so you can light it, and then with the light kind of facing up, it will actually look like that's totally illuminated. But I just didn't have time before the live, and I didn't want to delay it any longer. So that is the Covenant Spectre. $50 plus your shipping wherever you are. That's what we're doing there. I do want to let you know, if you're watching, we do have a lot of other items coming up, not just Indiana Jones. We have some Universal Monsters pieces and our unique jewelry that you'll only find through Monster Manor and Scott Fensterer Sculpture Studio. And Amber and I have worked very hard to offer these things at affordable prices, but you got a lot of bang for your buck, so we will be showing a lot more of that. On that note, we'll skip over right now to a piece that is getting very popular. Pieces, I should say. And these are the prototypes. We do have a couple of changes that we've done for the better. So these, if you are familiar with Frankenstein, which Frankenstein was what got me into doing special effects and makeup and all of that stuff, because I was just amazed by the Jack Pierce makeup. That was the first thing. My brother tried to terrorize me with the Frankenstein. It was on the what was it, the Castle Films.
That's crooked.
I understand that, but then it's cutting it off.
Castle Films. And he thought he was going to scare me. And I was like, yeah, I want to know all about this. You tell me all about who Jack Pierce is, who this guy is. Does he really look like that? I was young. I was under 4 years old.
Scaring you is kind of impossible.
Well, back then, that's what he wanted to do. And can you hand me those? We've got the...
Especially since you've worked in probably multiple haunted houses. I only know of one, though.
No, where's the other one?
What one? Are we missing one?
Yeah.
Am I missing a piece?
What one are we missing?
I have no clue.
The one with the little bars that go up, and then it's got that weird little disc in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on top.
It's right there.
That one's on the top.
Yep.
It's got, and that one is one of my favorites because it's got all the little coil packs. And if you buy it finished, we got the chrome accents on there, so it really makes it step out. It's awfully fun. And there's a lot of pieces to this. The changes that I was telling you about is we've added clear parts.
Well, why don't you tell them what it is? I mean, I know what it is, but it's
These were made by a gentleman called Kenneth Strickfaden. He made all of the equipment for the spooky movies back in the day in the 30s, and he was like an electrical genius. So
you made them to go with what?
The NECA Frankenstein. These are scaled to the one. That one's actually the 7-inch scale. So they're all scaled for the 7-inch scale. We can do 6 scale or 12-inch scale if you want that. And we can even go smaller if you want to put it with like the old Remcos or whatever. We can tailor this to fit. So the thing that we've done differently is we've added clear parts. So like you'll recognize this piece is this piece here. So what I wanted to do is there was like a glass bulb, of course, and then these pieces here were like a ceramic. So for that little bulb, I wanted it to be perfect. There's also a bulb here. So, and these are hollow on the underside, so you could actually, light this. If you're good with electronics, you could have the wires coming out of this and hide it in a little switch and battery, like one of those little, like the hearing aid batteries, and you could actually light that. So I wanted this to be, again, I'm nuts when it comes to the monster stuff, so I really do like it to be accurate. The other thing we have is on this model that you see here, they're all painted lights and bulbs, and it had the bulbs and it had the tubes. So what I've done is I've gone back in and separated out the tubes and bulbs. So now this panel here just goes into the rest of the unit. So if you wanted to light it, again, there are holes in there that you could actually put a light, and there would be lights on your piece. So that's with a minimal amount of extra work on your part. If you wanted to do that, you could do that. If you have problems with it and you really just want to have it light up, hit us up, because we do this stuff all the time. We can hopefully help get you to where you want to be with this and make it as realistic as possible, because that's the idea. People that are crazy about these figures and want that kind of look, that's really important that it has all of the bells and whistles, so we can get you some of that. Additionally, there are certain items that once we do the prototype, we're like, wow, we really need to maybe rethink this. So some of them are made slightly different to where they're more resilient. They're not going to come apart as easy. If you wanted to display them, they're right on. But one thing that didn't change, I'm going to have to move this one out of the way a little bit. I hate wasted space, and when you have action figure collectibles, that space is like real estate. It's very, very necessary. So the cool thing about this is every piece that I can have it.
With extra.
Yeah, all the figures, they come with extra hands, extra heads, extra this, extra that. So it was very important for me to make the most of whatever we had and give you storage possibilities. So in this stackable unit, this 3-piece unit, it has a door that you can actually fit some heads in, or hands, or whatever you want, accessories. Now, because that's a smallish area, we have the bottom section. The bottom unit here has a whole pull-out drawer. So I'll show it here. It has a whole pull-out drawer to it. So then you have another area for all those extra heads. So that way you can keep this with your NECA figures, and you want to change out the heads, boom, you're done. You just change out the heads, hands, whatever you want. And then it's got the little handle on here, and then the handles on this side. I tried to make these as authentic as I could to the ones from the movie, but again, you're talking about a movie that's from 1931. Not a lot of good photos of this stuff. So when you are ready to put it away, boom, you just slide it in, and then it has a back to it, and then all the little
that one has
casters.
Storage. The top part of that has storage,
and
the rolling one that doesn't really roll, but
it doesn't roll. Yeah. because I don't want them, rolling
It
off
has
of your
wheels on
collectibles.
it, but they're not functional wheels. They're for show.
I'm gonna move this out of the way so it doesn't drop and break. But this is the traveling arc. It does have a clear glass, the Jacob's ladders. They do have glass around it so you don't get shocked. And this one has that, and then the insulators. This piece will come off, and the glass piece will slide out. So if you want to, you can demonstrate that with your pieces as well. Now this piece here, the bottom of the traveling arc, which the traveling arc I could get the best pictures of because someone that was following me on the studio page actually won it at auction. It was mislabeled or something like that as just being like another thing, but it was used in Frankenstein and Young Frankenstein, which a lot of the Strickfaden stuff was. So this one also has more storage. I think we have a couple of heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heads in this one, just to give you an idea. Stuff you'll only hear here. Oh, we've got 5 heads in a box. But that slides in. Boom. And then, of course, in the front, with these, instead of them being painted, they are now clear. We'll see if I can find the actual piece for that. Because, again, I'm like, I really wanted this to be the best. I don't know if I have that particular piece in there, but I'll show you one similar to it because we've got a lot to show you. But that's the little piece that takes the place of the one that's on here. So instead of it being the painted, it will have the new design. So that just goes right in. There's a little slot for it. And then behind that slot in the new ones, there are holes. So if you do light it up, they'll glow. So we do not want to stop with just good enough because I'm OCD like that. So anyway, this whole set, if you buy the kit, which is unpainted, you get all the parts for it. But if you buy the unpainted set, that's going to be, what was it, 120? No, 200. 200. And then if you go with the painting, that is, how much for the painted, producer lady? 250, I believe. So, again, when I do more of these, sometimes I do have to raise the price because of material increases, or I get into it and I realize, oh my God, it's taking me 3 days to paint these things. So the price does go up a little bit, but it's generally 100% worth it. I mean, if it's something that you're passionate about, people have put their money into a lot of weird things. Also I call it the pressure pot piece. I don't know what it was, but that piece in the far side with the rings, is it off the? Okay.
No, it's not that it's off. It's
the
just
other piece.
That's in.
Okay, I'm gonna move that out of the way. Okay, so that piece here, we actually have clear tubing because there was glass around those as well, since that was another Jacob's ladder. So you'll get a clear piece that goes on just like in the movie. So you got clear tube here, clear tube on that, and then all the appropriate parts are clear that are supposed to be clear. So again, if you're interested in this, hit us up, send us a message. We do check Facebook probably the most because that one we have easiest access to. But if you send it through our website, that comes to us in an email. If you put a comment on YouTube, we get that just as easy. So that is that piece. So a lot of different parts to this. 1 for that one. 2, 3 for the little base unit. 4 if you count the drawer, but 3. 4 for the little one. 5 for the little radio. I don't know what it is, but it looks like a radio. 6 for this top piece here. 7 for the middle. 8 for the base. And 9 for this. So you're getting 9 parts, 9 pieces. Plus, I like to throw in little extras, so I'll probably even have little lengths of chain because we can do chains as well. Now, all of this stuff, like producer lady Amber was telling you, They go with the NECA figures. So I'm going to use this opportunity to show you another baby. This is, I didn't do the figure, I just did the replacement head, because the Frankenstein that NECA did, if you know me, you know I am absolutely OCD about Boris Karloff. I really wanted that to nail his likeness.
You
So
want somebody to see how pretty it is. Doing it on that camera isn't the way to do it.
yeah, maybe I'll bring it this way. But this is actually one that I scanned off of my life-size Frankenstein that I sculpted a couple of years ago. And this is that head scanned in, cleaned up for, am I in the right place? Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
But I really wanted this one to be as close to perfect as I can, at least in my eyes. So that is my head sculpt on the NECA body. And the base, we have bases for most of them, actually. I modeled this after from the 80s. If you remember, in the 80s, they had a line of model kits called Monsters of the Movies. It was done by Aurora. And they had the little clapboard. And I was fascinated by that as a kid, so I incorporated that into the base. So he's got the dungeon base, as you can see. And he has chains, length of chains. I don't have mine hooked up to chains. I know people love doing that with Frankenstein, but I thought Frankenstein got a raw deal. So you can use these if you want. If he's threatening your Toy Story people, you pop the hands off, you slide the shackle on, and then you put the hand back on. It works with the NECA figures perfectly. So, and these, if we do the painting and everything for you, hit us up for a quote on that. But it's, got the foam on the bottom or felt. But these are safe for your collection, and they're pegged, so you're not going to have your figures falling all over the place.
Ooh.
What?
They have foot pegs.
Yeah. Hush. They have foot pegs. So yes, if you, so because I really, really hate when the figures fall over, and so I put pegs on all of these. You could do the same thing on yours as well. And we can do that for you if you don't have any experience with that. But we use ABS pegs to hold them on the base. And that way you won't have them falling off if you do, And NECA, fortunately, they have extremely strong ankle joints most of the time. Should I show them the other ones? Because we have a slew.
Pulling them out. Go ahead.
Okay, I will show you these quickly, because these are basically ones that you would have to contact us about. We do these made to order. That's the Wolfman base. Comes with the wooded background, like when he's walking through the moors. So it's got some tree limbs down, a broken tree limb in the back. Tried to make this fairly simple and small, just large enough to hold the figure, because again, real estate with figures is extremely important. We have the Wolfman available. We have, this one's one of my favorites, I think. Honestly, of all of them, this one, and we've redesigned it so the books are actually, you can remove them by section. But I always thought this was an unsung favorite. And it used to be Ian's favorite, didn't it? Was it this one, or what one was his favorite?
He liked that. He liked to watch the Phantom of the Opera and the Mole Men.
Yeah, that's right, the Mole Men. But this was the original version that we did. So it also has the peg on the bottom of the foot. It's actually in the base and goes up. It's got the bookcase, all of that. This one has the baboon skull, but we also have a human skull option. And then the cool thing is, again, with all the clear, we now have a slew of, different things that you could put with it. Huh?
Bits and bobs.
Yeah. Like the little flasks, the little tubes. Again, I really wanted to give people their money's worth with this stuff, and a little bit goes a long way. So all of the pieces that were originally painted are now transparent or clear. They're all going to be clear enough that if you wanted to stain them or if you wanted us to paint them, it would look like there was even liquid in it. So lots and lots of great detail. But that's our, and they all on the front, on the clapboard, they have the logo from the movie, and those are the same ones that we used for the magnets that we produce. So it's authentic to the, I believe, the title cards. I tried to make it as authentic as possible.
Put some of those back before you start pulling other people out.
No, we want to have them all lined up.
Well, you can't hardly see them anyways.
Yeah.
Just because of the camera.
But let me see here. But yeah, I definitely wanted these to be a little bit more resilient, I guess you'd say. And now we have a bunch more that we're about to drop that have Phantom of the Opera, Nosferatu, and Bride of Frankenstein. And what else? There was another one I thought. But yeah, these are, because I'm very, very OCD and I have to have my little.
I think you like that word today.
What?
OCD.
Well, it's better than saying I'm anal about this stuff.
That's true. Well, you already said that.
No, we're not going to. Frankenstein will put back here. And yes, I call him Frankenstein because to me, he's still a Frankenstein. He was the son of, so that makes him a Frankenstein, right? The Bride of Frankenstein, I don't actually have her base done yet, but it's all ready to be. Let's show this one because this one is one of my favorites here as well.
Dracula and Mummy.
Yeah. Creature from the Black Lagoon has part of the little, what do they call that? The grotto? Mm-hmm. The creature's grotto. So if you look at that, there's all sorts of little crabs on the back here. The stalagmites coming up. And yes, I remember stalagmites come up. Stalactites hold on tight. So they're hanging.
They're hang tight.
Yep. And this one also has, I'm going to remove him so you can see it. But it also has a section here for the water that's clear. And then it's glossy like the water. So it looks actually when it's wet. Of course, because it's modeled after the old Aurora monsters, I always have to throw like a skull. And there's something that I hid in here as kind of like an Easter egg. But there's a tiny little miniature version of the AHI Creature Bendable that I do. So I took that same sculpt, that same file, and shrunk it down and hid it on here. So 2 for 1.
Well, it's not hidden if you tell people it's there, but
It's, So that one, and of course, another one of my favorites. He was the first in the new Carl Laemmle run Universal Monsters, released for February for Valentine's Day, 1931, and he has his dungeon floor base with the little staircase parts there, just enough to give you an idea of you're in the Castle Dracula.
Last but not least,
the Mummy. And the Mummy, I borrowed heavily from the old Aurora model kits. So if you remember those, you'll recognize this because it's got a retooled version, a little bit more accurate version of the little pillar, the cobra, and over here, the little hieroglyphic chunk. And then it's on a sandy base. So this was like, he walked out of the little sarcophagus, grabbed the scroll and hightailed it.
Doesn't have toilet paper hanging off the back of the shoe. So
Yes. So that's a Karloff, and I'm glad that NECA decided to do this version of Karloff in the Mummy, even though he was only in it for like 5 minutes. But they've solicited him, they've shown him off. They are doing the Ardith Bay with the fez and the traditional robe. So that base again is available, and many more. I think I do have pictures of the work in progress. Because the work in progress, it's the digital file that you can see, but it's got those all up in your business if you're interested in seeing that on our studio page. as well as on the Monster Manor page, if you're so inclined to check that out. And around October 30th, actually Halloween, we aired season 3's first episode, and it featured none other than Sarah Karloff. So she's kind of like the godmother of the horror heirs, the heirs to the Universal Kingdom.
Ian, can you turn off the fan?
So, okay. Oops. So, yeah, in addition to those, we have the Phantom of the Opera from the inside of the Opera House. It's got some of the wall and some sconces. We have the Nosferatu, which is the wood stairs that's so famous that he walks up with a ton of rats. I mean, I sculpted how many different ones? 10 different rats for this thing. And then Bride of Frankenstein is when she gets off the table and they have those two electrodes that are in either, or no, that wasn't the electrodes. It was what they chained. They chained to. What? Oh, okay. You can just tell me. So yeah, those are coming, and then we also have for the Christopher Lee Dracula and some other ones, and then a castle, modular castle thing that you can get as well. So lots coming with that. Let's bounce back to Indiana Jones real quick. If you are recapping some of the other items that we have, this is the Crystal Skull. We offer the Crystal Skull. We still have those, plenty of them in stock. Those are okay. Those are only $15, and plus shipping, of course. And the jacket that you see on him, that is a sample of the open fuller jacket that we offer that makes the Temple, the Last Crusade, Crystal Skull, and of course Dial of Destiny a little bit better, because the one that they came with, the stock ones, were a little bit tight. They look like the Raiders version. So that's why we did that.
Wants to know if we're going to be doing any Lost Boys character figures.
I would love to, because they haven't done that in a long time. But I would do whatever someone says, hey, can you do this? If we can get enough people involved and interested in it, because that's the only thing. It's got to be, it takes a long time to do that. So we got to be able to sell them to a wider, audience. But something like Lost Boys would work. I think that would really do well. And the last time they did it, I think they did David and what two characters did they do?
Marco, I think, and Michael.
Michael. David and Michael. So that was either NECA or McFarlane Movie Maniacs a long time ago. But yeah, that's our look. And then, of course, you can go to Etsy or just go to our page here, and you can also order the hats, which are movie specific. We have the Amsel movie poster hat for the Raiders, which has a tight pinch in the front, and the fatiguing and the dimensional cut. So because I owned one of the original hats at one point, was made off of the same patterns. So I had one of the Herbert Johnsons that had that dimensional cut. So I watched that. And then also on this is the new belts, the gun belts that we have. So they are accurate to the film. Different holsters from Raiders to Temple. Temple one that we offer is empty. And then the Last Crusade, which is similar to the Temple. And that one for the Crystal Skull is the same thing. This one is the first version that we did, but we actually have one that's the reversed belt, because he put the belt on opposite so he could take the gun off and still leave the whip and the belt on. So we noticed that late in the game, but we noticed that. So there's our Crystal Skull, all of that. And this is the same jacket and holster set with the Last Crusade. And the hat is also Last Crusade. The pinch in the front is different. So that features the fuller jacket. And if you want to pose around it, the cool thing about this is, again, that Thermoflex material that we use is that if you want to change how that fits on him, you can always take it and heat it up with a hairdryer or a heat gun. Heat guns really work well. You don't want to put them in water, but if you use a heat gun or a high-powered hairdryer, you could soften that up and then bend the arms or whatever around it, and it gives you a little bit more flexibility. So I wish that this was clear. I really don't know why it's doing that, but and these will come painted if you ask for them. We have them available unpainted, so you can match it to your indie. Because I went and changed the coloring of all of these to make them movie accurate. Because Raiders was almost it was such a dark brown that it was almost black. So these are a little lighter, and they have different different fatiguing or wear on them.
Howard watched Raiders and Temple yesterday. We watched Last Crusade today.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't watch it, but it was on.
Yes. And also the bases that you see all of these on, we still sell those. We have all the pricing available on the page. This one is the stock indie jacket and everything, but it has the Raider specific gun belt that has the lighter brown holster, and it actually has a working little button that you can use for the whip to hold the whip on. Again, with that thermoflex, you just heat it up, and then you can bend that around the whip. It's got a little button on there that you can pop in, and it actually stays closed. And also, I will show you on this one. Where is my little... This one was like the test, the brand new one. Where is it? Do you see it from that angle? Ah, here it is. I see it. We're working on so much. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one is the gun belt. So it actually has a working, quote unquote, a working buckle. So when you put that on there, you can actually put it on your figure this way. You heat it up and it gets like, floopy. I mean, you can put it on anything. And then when you're ready to fasten it around your figure, not only does the whip holder work, but then this little tongue on the little belt there slides into that slot, and there's a little crank in the belt that holds it on and in place. But when I can't see where I'm looking. Sucks getting old, bad eyes. But yeah, this will slide under the little buckle there, and then in, and then you see how it is now. Well, when you push it, it tightens up around the figure. So you can have it a little bit looser if you choose, and then it hangs a little lower. We also have this one is a sample of one that was specifically asked for, and it was in Last Crusade. For some reason, sometimes he had his holster off to the side like this, but in some scenes it was closer to the buckle. So with this way, you can order either one, and you have the Last Crusade holster a little bit closer to the buckle. This is unpainted, but yours will be painted. But that's an example of that. And yes, as far as it being as small as it is, 1/12 scale, it having that functionality is really, really cool. And speaking of functionality, I'm going to show you something cool. There are going to be, I'm putting a video up that shows how to put this on, because originally I was trying to do it where it was...
must have put Starlink over Old Country because Boris is...
Oh boy.
Able to get interwebs.
Nice. Thank you, Elon. So, yeah, we did the zipped up version from the Raven bar. So we have that jacket. And it is that force flex. So it's got a little bit of bend to it, a little bit of give to it now. But when you heat it up, it's like rubber. And then
Boris wants to know when you're doing the boulder from the Temple and Raiders.
That, I bet you he's joking, but we are going to do that. We are working on a modular set for the Chachapoyan temple. So we'll have like the little one back here. That little, can you see that? The pedestal base for the idol. So I did that one before I saw that they were doing one for the figures. So that one, I already got the floor base sculpted, and we are going to be doing like the walls and everything. So if you wanted like a full immersive photo,
you're a diorama person.
Oh yeah. So anyway, getting back to this. So there's the jacket as it is available painted. I did mine a little bit darker. If you order it painted, I'm going to give it to you in the same color that the original figure was. So if you want it to be a specific color, we can talk about it. But I wanted it to match the figures, right out of the back. Yes.
That are already existing.
Yes. So if you're doing this, and we will have videos on our studio YouTube, if you're doing this and you want the quickest, easiest results, what you have to do is remove the head, pop the head. Now, what I've already done here, I'm also going to put in the video, but I've already done, I heated these up with a heat gun. You can also boil it in the original figure, and it softens up the inner cups that hold these arms on.
I would boil it. Get a little cup of water and put it in the microwave and make it.
Yeah. Put it in boiling water
on the stove.
But what I do on these that I might have to remove like a few times is once you get the peg out of that little cup in there, I take an X-Acto blade when it's still warm and soft, and I do like a little crosshairs. So it's got a slit on the top, the bottom, and 2 sides of this little cup. And what that allows you to do is to be able to, without much effort, pop that off. So you only have to heat it once.
Yeah.
And it holds it like, like glue. But then you can do that with both of them. And if you'll notice that there's like an inner, I don't know what they call it, but it's almost like a butterfly joint where he can kind of do a crunch. Don't pull that out. Leave that in there. All you're worried about taking out at this point.
Out, you can put it back.
Yeah, you just put it back in. But all we're worried about is that inner cup. And this one's being a little bit tighter. Stand by. Hold, please. This is practical joke. Boris probably came in and glued it in. I don't know. But
it'd be very difficult since he's been out of the country. So.
Well, actually, you can do what I want to demo, but for some reason it's on there a little bit too tight. Maybe one of the things didn't go all the way through. But as long as you can get one off, you can kind of work this other jacket off. But we really need to take it completely off to show you how to put that other jacket on there. So I get that old one off, and then I'll work at this a little bit harder. Cool thing is you really can't break it. You'd have to really tug hard because it's a child's toy. But is the heat gun still over there or no?
No.
I don't know why this is holding so strong.
Because it's cold and
yeah, that could
midnight be. And it's tired.
That could be. Aren't we all? Yeah, gosh, I really want to show this too. Stand by.
Oi.
What are you breaking? There we go.
My phone.
Okay, so just had to muscle it a little bit. So this shows the a little bit more detail on that gun belt as well. And then because the gun is heavier, and it was usually in the movie, it was kind of snapped over here as well. That's the angle. So once you get that off, you take our zipped up, and you can actually shimmy it down. If you notice, there's like a little cutout where his holster kind of rests. But again, when this is warm, it's a lot easier to do this. But you're going to line that up and kind of get it into position. And you can push that down. Now, you can do it with the bag or without. But if you do it with the bag, I suggest you definitely warm it up. And then you just repeat the process. And again, this is for the very famous scene in the Raven Bar when he goes to see Marion Ravenwood. And it's cold in Nepal. The what?
When he's looking for the head of the staff piece of rock.
Yeah.
The one that gets burned into his palm.
Of course, we're going to have a hard time getting that arm back in. But yeah, it just needs to be heated up. It is very chilly in here. So once you get the head back in place and the jacket down, and there are pictures for that as well. There's his jacket zipped up to like the mid belly, just like on the movie. And it puts a little bit of fun back in collecting the figures and customizing certain scenes. So, and it's just that easy. I mean, it goes on. If you do have the belt kind of sticks out under the jacket by the whip. But if you remember that scene, he didn't have the bag on, and he also didn't have on the gun belt. He just had, if you see the behind the scenes stuff, you can see he had like a shoulder holster in Nepal. So with these belts, you could even undo it, take it off, and then put this on, and you have a screen accurate. So that is our zipped up accessory there. And the cool thing, I'm just going to show you this real quick because it's basically the same thing. It's got our temple style hat, temple style holster. The temple style holster has no gun in it. And people are going to ask why there's no gun in it. In the beginning, Willie Scott threw it out the window of the Rolls Royce. So for the rest of the movie, Indy didn't have a gun in his holster. And he goes at the end of the movie, and when he's fighting the thuggies at the temple escape, they confront him. They have the swords. He pulls his gun, but he goes to his holster. There's no gun there. So this one's empty. Most of them you can at least see in the back. They're not functional because if I made them functional, I would have to make them bigger like the Hasbro one. And the idea was I wanted something that was screen accurate as it was. So the guns are not removable, but the ones that have the guns in them, they have the butt in the back, and you can see that. And then in the front, you can see where the hammer area would be of the gun. So very, very detailed. But that's our indie stuff, I think, except for what else do we have? The bases, all of that's on our site as well. The bases you can still order. The Dials of Destiny you can still order. What else?
We have
torch sets.
The torch sets, the Crosses of Coronado.
Crosses of Coronado, yes.
Do you have one out?
Yes. That one I do want to share with you.
Bases, crosses, torches.
Where
There's
is it?
two
I have it
different
out
torch sets. Well, 2 torches and then the single 1 torch.
Where did it go? Can you see it from that end? Because I know I have.
I don't see any.
And then
see one.
I'm going to put this one up here too, but that's the. And I'm going to look around. Let me move some of this stuff around here. But that one, if you're familiar with the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, that is the Mystery of the Blues indie set. We also have pictures of that on our page. I had it here. It was on the table, and now it's gone.
Well, the box is right there for you.
It's so tiny. No, it is scaled, and that's the difficult thing with doing these figures and trying to scale them correctly, is that the
box is right there.
I know. There it is. There it is. I didn't bring it out. These are most of the time when they make them in toys. Like for example, the 2008 toy set. They had a Cross of Coronado came with the Young Indiana Jones, and it was probably around this size, maybe even a little bit bigger. I don't remember exactly. But this one is scaled. You gonna show it?
Sure.
1/12 scale. It's got a 1/12 scale chain that somehow producer lady Amber was able to attach with the appropriate number of jump rings, because the chain that it actually had, it had those small circular links, but it had a couple of jump rings in there, or rings that set it apart. I'm going to see if I can move my big fat head so you can see it. But
little painted pearls and
stuff. Oh yeah, because it had like an opal. I think it was an opal on some of the parts, and then it also had the little pearls. And that is about as screen accurate as you can get as far as size goes. So when you see it with the figures, like he had it in Last Crusade aboard the ship, the scale is as close to what I could get, so it looks authentic to the character. So, and yes, I've gotten numerous requests to do Young Indiana Jones, River Phoenix, and I have every intention on getting to that.
But this guy over here, that's the one time Harrison Ford showed up on the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, and he was old, and the episode was called The Mystery of the Blues, and he played the saxophone. So that is a kit that you can get to modify one of your figures to make him old Indiana Jones. You get a rocking chair.
I wish that was
the
clear.
jacket, the sweater.
I'm gonna move it over to
Dicky
this one.
thing and
And
Sasha foam.
yeah, perfectly scaled too, which is cool. The chair actually rocks. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone why they would need that,
No,
but it does rock.
Anyways.
And then the head that you would get with your kit, it can come either painted or unpainted, but we have it available both ways. Just hit us up as far as pricing goes. But yeah, that comes with everything you need. All you need to supply is your action figure. And I used for this one the Last Crusade Indy with the tie, because in that episode, if you notice, when he runs into the cabin, he has the gloves on, takes gloves off, but you can see that he's wearing the black tie. I have no idea why they decided to do that, but he had the black tie on. And then this one also has the longer hair and the beard that he was sporting when they filmed this, which was actually during the filming of The Fugitive. So he had the hair and beard that he had as Richard Kimball, which
who didn't kill his wife.
Who didn't kill his wife and was in search of the one-armed man, and worked with a good friend of ours, Daniel Roebuck,
Tommy
Lee Jones. They were the two marshals, I think, that were a bane to Richard Kimball at the time. But yeah, Daniel Roebuck, also known for his work in The Munsters with Rob Zombie. What else are we going to show? You want to show some of the jewelries? Okay, we're going to show some of the lower dollar items that we're offering, mostly for like gifts if you're interested in any gifts for family and everything. Can you throw me some? I can't.
I'll give you a box of crap.
A what?
Right? A box of crap to rifle too.
Yes. Well,
okay. Well, you want jewelry first?
Yes, we're gonna, because a lot of the jewelry we have on our Etsy page, which is Scott's Prop Box. We have
you have all the new items that have not made it to Etsy yet, but they are available.
Mm-hmm. Yes, these are brand new.
And you'll probably have to put photographs up on the Facebook page.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow or something, because you already photographed them.
Yes, so we do have photographs. I'll get those up. But we have, this is brand new. We have the bloody variant of the vampire pendant. That's the vampire skull, because the Franken skull was so popular. We're now adding these that have the vampire fangs. We have, by popular demand, everyone was saying, where's Freddy? Okay, so here's Freddy. We got Freddy.
Not a good angle.
I don't know how we can show him. He's really difficult to show. But these are all painted in variants of metallics. So we have Freddy. We have a werewolf skull that has the, I guess, closer to like Lon Chaney Jr. with the
underbite lower teeth.
Yep. And this one happens to be the bloody variant. For the classic toy lovers, we have this one, which is brand new for this year, and that is the stretch monster head. So it's all in the metallics instead of the straight up green. It's got metallic greens and metallic reds and all sorts of different colors in there. So we got that one. How far am I going to have to dig? Okay, these are really cute. These are really cute for people that are into He Who Shall Not Be Named Thrice. But we have Bob. Beautiful little thing. I'll get pictures up on these. But we got Bob. And we got Barbara.
Barbara Maitland.
And we have, where is he? Did Adam run away? We have an Adam. I'm looking for him now. See, when we do a show, we kind of just put them all back in here. Ah, there he is. But in no particular order. There's Adam Maitland with the beautiful checkerboard shirt pattern. And every detail is in there, every detail. This one is our brand new Halloween ornament or holiday ornament. But this is the vintage style scarecrow jack-o'-lantern. But he's, again, all in the different metallics. So gold.
And all of those pendants are also available in necklace.
As earrings.
Or, yeah, as earrings. And the Adam and Barbara earrings come as a pair, so you get an Adam and a Barbara.
And a Barbara. Now, this one was also, because we listen, and when we have people that come by and say how much they want a certain thing, we're pretty lucky in that we can, if we think that there's going to be enough of an interest, we'll go ahead and do it as a spec piece. And these have already been delivered to their requester, commissioner. But we have from something you don't see a lot of merchandise from, but a Clockwork Orange. So we have Alex DeLarge, both
the ugly face and then the normal face. So I like this one because he does have the
hopefully that'll show
eyelashes.
They have those weird eyelashes under one eye.
So they are on there, and they are dimensional. So.
Yeah, they are fully dimensional. This one is the obscene one. This is from the scene
of the badness.
Yeah, that was not a happy scene.
No.
But these are all available for immediate shipping. But we have the Alex DeLarge, and again, when you get
those, the Bob and the Adam and the Bob.
Oh, okay. When you order the Alex DeLarge, there's the Barbara, and this one.
And Barbara does have her eyeballs down in there in the back of her mouth.
Yep. And yeah, these are really, really nice, and they're not overly expensive, especially as nice as they are, because we charge what for these? 15 a piece, so they're very affordable.
I don't think so. I told you 9.
Show this one too. That one's really nice. Show that one up close, and its brother. Yeah. This one is from last year's ornament, but it's the Dapper Cat, the classic Dapper Cat. So all in the beautiful metallics.
And he's got that little straw hat going on. It's super cute. And he's got his little neckerchief bandana thing.
I'll leave that one there in case you want to show it.
We already showed the kitty cat. He's been available for like ages.
Okay. Yeah. And did you show the Barbara?
I already did.
Oh,
I said give me the Bob.
Bab? Okay. Yeah, Bob was a cute one.
R.I.P. Bob.
But he was in a funky angle in the back.
Where did Bob go? There he is. Yeah, see if that one works. But Bob, if you get the earring set for Bob, he has his hair going both ways because it's held actually by his hair. And we'll show you this one as well. This is our brand new Wolfsbane. So we have that available as earrings as well. I'm going to need a swig of coffee.
No, he hasn't touched it. But there's Bob in all of his magnificent glory.
And of course, little Bobs. Those are cute too.
Coffee boy back here. Refill or reheat?
Reheat, please. There you go. So all of these are brand new for 2024-2025. And we have the beautiful little earrings for the... Yeah, these are the monk's hood or wolfsbane. It's the same thing. But yeah, that was a request because film
loves Bob.
Huh?
Howard said, I love Bob.
And Howard is actually to thank for these even coming to be because he was a little bit busy, so he passed on a job. The producers of a film, a werewolf film, needed wolfsbane. Couldn't find it anywhere, not even fake, you know. So they hit us up and we talked, and I did a set of wolfsbane that you could actually pluck petals off of. So it was cool to work on that. It was kind of got my juices flowing creatively, and I can't wait to see how that looked in film. And I realize it's getting late, so I'm going to try to get through everything, and we will post photos on the stuff you can buy section of our Facebook. All right.
And you want this, right?
What is that? This. Okay. These are really awesome. Okay. Every year we tend to make an exclusive ornament. So we still have some of these from 2023, Christmas 2023. That's the Dapper Cat, painted exactly as it was, practically to the Pantone color, to the original cardboard cutouts. So these, while not cheap, are very nice, and you're not going to find them everywhere. These
Mark
are very, very
Wilhelm
limited.
says hi.
Who?
Mark Wilhelm.
Oh, hello, Mark. He's my shirt buddy. He's purchased from our Printify shop as well. So we have the Dapper Cat. Then we have, oh, this is beautiful. I love this one. But we have, you might have to take that out. I don't know how well it'll show up. But that is our new Scarecrow. Brand new for 2024.
Of wheat in his mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. And these are all signed as well. They come signed. Because you're actually, with every purchase, you are supporting art. You're supporting our small studio. We are not a mega studio. We don't do huge jobs. But then again, a lot of that has changed over the years. So we are definitely making things happen because of you guys and your support. So I can't thank you enough.
We already had the existing.
Oh yes. This one is also on our Etsy, I think, right now. That one's a little bit more. That one's a $50 ornament. The others are pretty much all $35, but you can hit us up if you have any questions. But that's our sandworm. And now they're even cast hollow, so they're much lighter because people said that they were really weighing down the branch because originally it was solid resin. So now it is hollow and much lighter and doesn't drag your
little striped teeth and everything.
Yeah, that was fun. That was really fun painting those. But we love that. So, yeah, can't say his name, though. But that one's 50. That one's mostly 50 because of the intricate paint job. I mean, it takes us, close to an hour for each one, 45 minutes.
Like that. Next piece.
I'm wetting my whistle. Okay, now these are all, okay, I'm going to show this one first because, again, monster kit of the 70s. I go way back with this one. When I was a kid,
kind of wedged in there. I don't know how easy he's going to be able to get in.
Well, I gotta get him out because this is just the best. Okay, so when I was a kid, we had a thing called Stretch Armstrong and Stretch Monster. I am in the process of recreating a Stretch Monster, and that Stretch Monster is going to be a long process. But so far, I have his head. This is not a scam. This is an original digital sculpt, and it is not a copy of the original. But that is my version of the Stretch Monster. Almost 100% to scale of the original, but it's available as an ornament, so you can show your support. And it also has on the bottom, it has our studio information, and it's going to be a signed edition as well. So, yeah, you can't even really. I'm gonna have to post the pictures on it because you can't even see all the cool details that are in there. It's about as authentic as you can get to the original.
I can imagine the words you both said painting those tiny areas. Yeah. Howard knows the words I say, so he can verify that painting the little tiny eyeballs because you got the luxury of painting the full size ones here. And I did them in the pendant size and in the earring size, which is much, much, much smaller.
You're younger. You're younger. You got better eyes. This one, after these are gone, they're done. We have 2 more of these, but those are glow ornaments.
Phosphorescent.
Those actually, yes, that has a history that goes back 10 to 12 years. 10 to 12 years ago, I sculpted those, and I saw a picture somewhere that I liked the look, so I made this as an ornament, and I was able to do this as a glow piece. Can we kill one of the lights? I don't know if it'll show, or do we have the UV? Let's see if it's a very bright glow. I mean, I don't know if it'll show up here, but that's also a 5-hour glow palette.
I wish I could make it autofocus.
I know. It's so frustrating that it's doing that. Because you guys, I really...
It doesn't know what it wants to focus on.
I really wish that we could have shown that to you, but that's the
There we
lit
go.
version.
Your son is smart.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
it is very reactive to UV, and like I said, this is a
Great.
5-hour glow powder that we put in there.
Jack is not on Etsy, Howard. He's limited. There's only 2 left of him.
Yep.
Like all time.
Yep. And I'm not likely going to make more of these because I try to stay away from.
And you don't have to order anything on Etsy anyways, Howard.
Yes.
You know how to get a hold of me.
Yes, because Etsy is great.
You know where I live, sir.
Etsy is fantastic, but it's also expensive, and I don't like. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine, and I'm not going to be smashing on them too much, but Etsy, when it started from being like an artisan place where small artists and small studios could sell their wares. You weren't even allowed to put like action figures or anything. Even if they were customs, they shied against that because they wanted unique handmade items. Well, now, write to them, email them, put them on blast because Etsy has found it in their whatever.
Infinite wisdom.
To allow companies like Temu and other factories in China to come in and infiltrate. So if you're a small artist on there, I don't mind the competition, okay? That I'm not talking about. But you get an unfair advantage when you have 15 basically 15 factories or warehouses selling the same product, clogging up the search engines. So if you put in, you want something, you're going to see all these things come in, where before it was small businesses, small studios. So, yeah, put them on blast. They did away with it for a while, but they've allowed it again. And I'm like, really? But you remember seeing the pendants and the earrings. So we have a complete, if you wanted a set of 4, you've got it. Set of 5 if you count the older sandworm. But these are all brand new for 2024. We have the Big Bob. These are actually painted in realistic
from
colors.
The second movie, because in the second movie, the newer movie, they actually had him in a different color scheme.
Yeah, he was like a greenish color, like a almost like an oxidized penny. But now he's different than when he was just a regular brown.
He's even got
Is it not focusing? Oh, man. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why it's doing this. But yeah, Barbara has all her details. I mean, I spent probably more time than I should have on this, but it's also extremely fun to do these.
Differentiation, the color of her hair, staining of the teeth.
There you go. It actually came into focus on my end. Okay, and there's the atom.
Of course.
It's I even put gloss on the teeth, so the mouth and the teeth are actually, shiny and wet looking. And this one here is turning out being the more popular than I even thought, but everyone loves that one.
Because this is my art and it is dangerous. Do you think I want to die like this?
Yep. And the answer is, you got to go some way.
Isn't that dangerous?
It is sometimes.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, but not that often.
So, yeah, all of these are available. All of the regular ones, except for the sandworm, are mostly $35. A handful of them are in the $50 range, but the sandworm is $50. $35 for the Dapper Cat and $35 for the brand new studio exclusive Scarecrow, complete with the little that was fun trying to come up with a good way of doing that wasn't going to take a lot of time, because we knew we couldn't do it as a piece of resin because it would break. So we didn't want to do that. And
it's a little bendy, so if it gets bent out of shape, you can put it back.
Yeah, it's bendy, and
Howard wants to know how much Jack is.
Jack, that one's $35. $35 for Jack. And just let us know, because we've got only 2 of those. I'm keeping the last one for archery. So we'll be twinsies if you decide to get that one. We still have the Pez's. If you've seen us at shows, last year we debuted the exclusive Pez candy dispensers that were reminiscent of the old 1960s monsters. We added to that, so we have a bunch of different designs in there. But all of those are available on the Etsy shop on Etsy's prop shop, or Scott's prop shop.
Prop box. We've
Prop
got,
box.
I think, 2 belt buckles left.
Yep. Belt buckles are still available. How much were those, hon?
15.
15.
They're
We
worth
got
a lot.
Han and Carbonite, and they have fully.
And Howard said hold a jack for him. He's going to get one for the girls.
Hold
Or one of the daughters.
Okay.
Got one
We
of that.
can do that.
The daughter.
You basically need to have a belt, though, that you can do it with any belt. If you have any experience with leatherworking, you're in great shape. If not, you can turn any belt into a receiver for belt buckles like this by using, in place of the one that they have, usually a rivet, you can get what's called a Chicago screw. That is basically a rivet-looking thing, but you screw into it, and it's got like that nice cap on one side, and then I believe it's like a straight blade
And then
screw
the new
on the
magnets
other
that
one.
we added
So,
this year,
this one?
aside from our regular magnets.
And we still have a few of the R2 magnets and belts.
I think
The
there's...
Millennium Falcon belt, complete with the hardware. And then these were our brand new ones for 2024, which now we're coming at the end of the year already. So we're going to have to come up with new ones. But this is the... this movie was great for everyone. We love Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. It's one of producer lady's favorite as well. But this is like if they had a sign. It's the McDougal's House of Horrors,
which is
from
where
it took place, where they first unboxed the monsters, or the monsters unboxed themselves. In the fictional, a lot of people assume that this is a real place. There is no La Mirada in Florida, but La Mirada, Florida is where that was supposed to be, and that's
Not a place,
available as
since
a...
we're down here.
Yep. We've got a few of those. And the Bride of Frankenstein logo magnet. All fully painted. And those are $15 as well.
And then we've got the Deadpools, which this is the
Yes.
last of those. We've got those in magnets and as an enamel style pin, like that,
Yes.
but a pin instead of a magnet.
Yes, this same size, but yeah, available in 3 ways. And this is retired as well. After these are gone. We're not going to offer these anymore. But it's got a very strong neodymium magnet.
He said he just left a note for Cindy Steele about the ornament so that she can get it.
Yes. And
She
then
always handles ordering the things and sending up the monies and the stuff, just like me. So we transfer money back and forth to one another.
And we've got brand new also, if you're still hanging around with some of the indie love, we have the Amsel poster smiling indies, kind of the side smirk. We have those. We have them both hats and no hats. And we also are adding brand new, I don't even have them here yet, but we've just added the kind of like the Worried Indie. I don't know how I'll say it, but he's got that little, like, I'm making this up as I go along, but we have those available raw as well as painted. So those are brand new. The hats we have and the flexible, these are brand new, awaiting a paint job because we still have to do that before we get it to you. Torches.
The gloved hands?
Gloves, yes, the gloved hands. I have to show you on this indie figure again. They're actually articulated, which was originally I couldn't find a material that would hold up. Now we can. And this is actually articulated. We have a set of how many hands? We got
I think it's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different hands. So we've got like a one that holds it can hold like a
3 sets, 6 hands total.
Yes,
so they do
6
different
total.
things. 2 hands, 3 sets. So 2 hands that go together.
Torch holding hands, a trigger hand, and fists. And then also these are unpainted, but again on our Scott's Prop box on do we have those on there yet? The torches?
They're not on Etsy.
We're going to be adding them, but you can always hit us up. It's $15 for a pair, wasn't it? $15 for a pair?
I don't remember.
But they come with, like, where is he? The torch is actually a gorgeous torch. I don't know what I did with it.
Right,
but it lights. Oh, here it is. It's got clear or transparent resin, and it's painted with those beautiful yellows and oranges of flame. So, yeah. We got
and
those.
then they can always check out our Printify shop.
Yes, that's got a lot of other stuff on it, too.
If you scroll through our Facebook,
The
there'll be a
jackets.
post somewhere with the link for the Printify because we have to re-show that.
Yes.
But we've got Christmas trees, skirts, stockings, gloves, tumblers, wallets, purses, laptop sleeves, different shirts, all kinds of stuff on there. Like, so, I mean, even down to phone cases where you can
Oh, yeah, those are an
pick
example of the...
your style of phone. These are just 2 styles, but these ones are for the iPhone 12. But whatever size your phone is, there should be a little drop down where you can find your phone for different patterns of they're on the Printify shop.
Yes. And they're absolutely, I like these because they're that soft protective silicone.
No, Howard, we are not vending at MegaCon in February.
And the Sneakers Dozen is also brand new, which is actually, I think it's kind of fun. I don't know why I did this, but I thought it was fun. But you have a couple of snakes because there were so many in the Well of Souls. So these are actually 2 snakes together in one. So there are 12 different snakes, but this one really has a 13th. So we call it the Sneakers Dozen.
And those are to go with the Indiana Jones figures because he hates snakes.
Yeah. And then we have this one, which is the, it was the booby trap. What do they call it? The booby trap torch from the Chachapoyan temple, where he puts it down on the floor and it shoots out of the wall. So that is that one. And then another, those are the little hands too. We got the little hands.
Tiny little arrow in there.
Yeah, and actually that one broke during testing. So the new ones are going to be a little bit thicker. We do have these still available because some people prefer to have the thinner arrow, but at that size it's just really, really small. So I have a handful of them done that have the arrow intact. We send those out with foam, so they're packed up. You cut them out, then you got this. But honestly, with the thin ones, you're taking that in your at your risk. The new ones will be about double the size of the little like mass wise. We had to make that bigger so it wouldn't break. It's really easy to break when it's like that. But we listen to our customers and we try to make something.
Anything else you want before we start shutting this thing down? It is 12:30.
It's getting late, I know. We still have other items like the Necronomicon, the book from Evil Dead. We've got all sorts of stuff.
As a magnet.
Yeah, on the Scott's Prop box. And I'm going to show these because this is the new redesign of the Gilman ornament, the pen plaques, which these we affectionately call fen flax, because this is my version. If you remember the ones that I showed summertime, we were still working on the design and all of that stuff. So he still works, the same. He has that pivot at the waist, and there's a hole in the top of the head as well. This one, though, because we wanted it to be a little more secure, it has an axle that goes all the way through. So that axle is what he pivots on. It's not going to break anymore. So we test these before we send them out and before we go into production on them. And that was one thing that we could do to make it stronger. The other thing that this is different than the originals is, if you remember, even the original pen plaques, it had a hole right here. How lovely.
Right up the tuchus.
Not demure.
Right up the tailpipe.
Yes. And then the air would go directly in, follow up here to the head, and the bubbles would come out the top. And the bubbles, until they were released, would make them go like this. It was kind of cool. So now what I have done, because I can't leave good enough alone, is I have a little out. What would you call that? Like a little inlet. So whatever you have as far as your pump goes, your air pump for your fish tank, you would put that on here, and there is an intricate little system that I have in here, because most of the today's pumps, they are so much air that it wouldn't function like it did back then. So it has a step down system built in, that this goes in and to his leg, and then up his leg to the torso, and then it's allowed to go up. The arms are now solid, so they're allowed to come back down in the water, and then there's the hole that's further set forward. So it's absolutely gorgeous. And the other good thing is that these are also now considered fish tank safe. We have taken every caution that we can to make these as safe as possible for your aquatic life. So they are painted with enamels and sealed with a fish, what would they call it? A fish safe, fish tested sealer. The bases, it's the same thing. They're sealed. The weight is actually entirely encased with PVA, or polyvinyl acetate. It's almost like white glue, only like hot glue, but it fully encapsulates anything that's in it, so it cannot leach out. So we have gone through a lot of testing on this to make sure that these would be as safe.
There'll be a video up sometime this week of it in action in the fish tank.
And we have basically the holes for it, but if you wanted to display this outside of your fish tank, you could.
Because the old ones did not have the balance and weight distribution and would tip over. These ones no longer do that, and they have little feet on them.
Optional.
That you can either use to help bury it with the gravel, so that you don't have to use the gravel and cover up the pedestal, or you can use it as like a little riser that it sits on your desk with or without those feet.
Yes, and these are actually going to be done in that same semi-rigid material, and once they are sealed, they'll be safe for your tank, and you can actually just pop them in, and they're adjustable to a certain extent, but you can pop them in the holes. And if you wanted to have a nice little standoff for your gravel, that helps to hold it in the gravel. There are three spots for those. And then, of course, this is weighted. It's got a weighted base that holds it down and reduces the buoyancy. Everything else, it just works just like the original, only better, because you don't have the big tube in the keister. And I think this is cute too. As a throwback, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a lot of hidden gems in there. First of all, the studio logo, which is the signature, but it's also got the Fenflax Action Aerating Monster, which is exactly what they had on the original package, only Penflax instead of Fenflax. And then it's got our symbol in there, which is a nod to the old Marks. It's called a Retro Qualitoy. And instead of the Marks guy, it's me in that outfit. So you can see my little trademark silver beard, because I'm a goofball. But these, as cheesy as they are, and that's a problem that I have, is I want to paint these up to look so real. But this is the way that they were painted back in the day, with the white eyes, with the big pupils, and the red. Copious amounts of red. And we grew up fine, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't grow up to be mass murderers or anything. But yeah, we had blood on everything.
I'm the generation that they made the Never-Ending Story for. And that scene with Artax is the stuff that nightmares are made of.
So, yeah. See?
And, I saw a video today on the interwebs of somebody that I follow, because I love him to death, but he's my age. He's a mid-80s baby, so technically we're millennials. No.
Not Shug? Okay.
No, it's Grace and Magaha, but he's my age, early to mid-80s, so technically we're millennials, but we're cut from a different cloth.
Yeah, older millennials.
And we survived some things.
Older millennials. I'm going to show this one. We've had this on before. However, it's gone through an upgrade. So before, I know we were working out articulation points. We were working out rivets. We were working on a lot of different things. So now we've got it under control. So he is still, he's more posable than the original, because he is actually now what do you call it? Strung. He's a strung doll. So he has
He
elastic.
has partial banding, and then he's got his joints.
Yeah, it was really important for me that the joints would actually function. So now he has, and I'll show you one that's in.
And custom goddess, right? She looks the creature. We have those available. You can message us on the Facebook or the website or the Instagrams to order the bubbler and or the AHI replica.
Yes. This, because I'm, again, OCD, I wanted to get something that was as close to the original as possible. So this shows you the kind of the design of the leg. It is strung through here, so it's not going to break. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not like the originals that had like that little mushroom cap. This is a kind of a semi-ball joint, so it's able to rock a little bit more. And
the stringing it's not an organic material,
yes,
so it's not going to
not
break
latex.
down.
It's
a synthetic.
Yes, it's like
a nylon.
Yes, very heavy duty, like you would see for like jewelry and stuff like that. But the cool thing is that with these new rivets, you see those rivets there. We searched high and low to find the exact size rivets, the exact hollow core rivets that you had in the old AHIs and some of the Migos, back when they had, rivets in their hands, very similar to that. But this now actually functions just like the one that we grew up with or wish we had. So everything works. It's going to be more posable than the original. And the other difference is, thanks to a dear man, if you're not following him, please check him out. His name is Brian Heiler, and he is on the Migo forums and everything like that. He is the founder of Migo Museum. And if there's something you're looking for, Migo history, AHI history, Lincoln Monster history, whatever it is, he's the guy to go to. So I went to him and I said, hey, Brian, can you help me out? I need to know.
Broadcast ends in.
What does it say? Is that for?
No.
Yeah, it's going over time.
Okay.
Over 2 hours.
Okay. So I checked with Brian because he has one of the original AHI creatures. So my question to him is, Brian, how big was this? How tall was it? Because, it's considered an 8-inch figure. But this isn't an 8-inch figure. No. Just like the Hulk for the Migo line, they actually made him smaller than the other figures. So the new ones that we're doing are actually at the original release size of 7 inches tall. So they're a little bit smaller than the other monsters. But back in the day, it was like that because these were blow molded and it was a different process and it cost more to produce. So they made them smaller.
In order to accommodate for all the crooks and nannies and frills and folds and still use the same amount of plastic as the other figures, they had to make the figure smaller. Just like the Hulk, he's girthier, has more muscles, so he requires more plastic for the width and girth, but they had to make it smaller in order to use the same amount of plastic as each figure. So their cost-wise on materials was the same per figure.
Yeah, because I'm looking at him now next to
that way
Captain
they
America,
could charge the same.
And the Captain America Migo is a good Hulk head taller than the Hulk. So it's like
because that had a thicker body.
A lot of people actually use the.
It takes more materials on the chest and the leg parts because they're bigger and thicker. So that's what it is.
That's the way they fought it. But this is a good example. It shows you how those go together and how they're strung. But it's going to be right in there like that. And then the same system for the heads. You get a good rotation because it is on an elastic string now, a nylon string. Elastic. And because of that bib works even better now than it did on the old figure because it can actually move a little bit. It's got a little forgiveness. So this is one that's not even painted, not even assembled. So we're getting those done and ready. We have a box of parts here, but those I am really looking forward to having something that's even more.
And they come with a base.
It comes with a base. This is also exclusive. I don't know anyone else that's producing these. But we are planning.
Dark Invisible Man figure from NECA. Mark Wilhelm ordered.
Wait, the new one?
Yeah, Mark Wilhelm said he just ordered it, the glow-in-the-dark Invisible Man today
Oh yeah,
from
yeah.
Mecca.
They're doing those beautiful glow in the dark ones. But yeah, these bases are exclusive to us, and I can do them. I'm in the process now of doing them for all the original figures. So you have this one, this creature from the Black Lagoon, but we also have for Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, and the Mummy, which were the original Fab Four. And then of course it's marked with our studio information on there. Can be signed at request, but I don't like to just sign stuff willy nilly because then some guy is just scribbling on your toys, right? So, but if you were fans from Face Off or
But it's definitely an old style doll stand
Oh,
type
yeah.
deal. We create the stand and then just add the prefab metal
Yeah, so it's
waist holdy thingy like for dollies.
yeah, yeah. And the big debate was were we going to do like the Hot Toys hook under the groin. It wasn't going to work with this one, so we did go with the waist grab. But
I remember it kept falling over.
yeah.
Because he doesn't have
And I'm
enough
pretty sure it broke.
crotchular
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it
space
broke
to
once,
hold it
too.
on.
Yeah. Well, we broke quite a few of the original
Well,
tests.
usually it's Phil that's dropping things, but
It's
trying to put it
not
on the
always
stand this
No.
time was.
But
And
yeah,
Boris
this
has
is,
been out of country, so he hasn't been
Yeah.
here to break stuff.
But those
Usually he
are
does, but
available.
he hasn't been
Hit
here.
us up. We're going to be doing probably a pre-order on Etsy. However, Etsy is a little bit more costly for fees and all of that. So we're going to be having these direct through our website and through our Facebook. So you can hit us up directly and save some money because we're trying to keep these as affordable as we can. Is there anything else that we haven't shown? Do you remember?
Okay.
Do you remember?
No, I don't think so.
I think that's about
I
it.
prefer a waist grab over a groin hook. That's most
Who's that?
people
Who's
do.
that?
Custom God. She watches us
Oh.
on YouTube all the time.
Yeah. Hey, custom. But yeah, this one, and I think we established that it was a gentleman.
Did we? I thought
Yeah.
there was a lady.
No, because I was dealing with two different people at one time, but you can confirm. But I think Custom God is a dude, if I remember
Because
correctly.
there was a lady.
Because I was
too.
dealing with two people at once, and I think that's where the confusion came from. But yeah, this will be available very soon, and it's restored glory. Yeah, I think that's about it. We went a little bit long. I'm sorry for
Not
that.
a lot long.
But we are going to post
2 hours, 5
pictures
minutes.
probably tomorrow with all of this information on it again, so you can kind of peruse the offerings. The Mola-Ram will definitely close as far as the pre-orders go. That's going to close on December 31st at 12 a.m. So
And there
this
are
is
12 slots left available
yeah,
to
only
order
12
this
left.
figure.
And that's what he looks like under his robes.
For
We're
this
showing,
first run. And
yeah.
this first run comes with the exclusive
Yes.
staff, which is Skullhead, and a special hand that holds it, as well as the exclusive little tiny knife with a little hand that
From the
holds it as well.
LJN. Yeah, that's an homage to the LJN. And the he's magnets.
I have
changing
long
it.
hair, but I'm a dude.
Yes. Yes.
That was plenty of people that we know at a time, especially me.
Yes.
Yeah, you used to have
But
I looked like baby
I
Hebes.
gotta turn this up this way. This is the prototype. So the new ones are gonna have improved joints. They're gonna have
tighter fittings.
tighter fittings. The joints are gonna be pins
And the
rather than resin.
Clothes setup. He's got his little robe jammy thing with his flippy do and
reversible
snippy snap.
You can either
there.
put it on the left side, like in the not that way. It doesn't
I
get
know,
reversed that
but
way.
it's lined. It's got the red, and then you can put it on this direction and snap it with the flap over this way, or you can put it on that way and have with the snap and then over his shoulder. Like
because keen eyes will notice that he had two different robe wraps. The way that he dressed the robes. In the ceremonial scene, it was draped one way, and he had it over his arm. In the bridge scene, when he's fighting Indy and Willie Scott and all of that on the bridge, it was flipped. It was reversed.
That also comes with this little funky hat.
Yes.
What even animal skull is that? I've always been curious.
I think it was something they made up. Because seriously, it wouldn't line up with any skull that actually exists.
It reminds me of more
Mhm.
like a bull that they probably cut down the nose.
Oh, well, it's in
Part
India,
of the
so I'm going to
skull.
go with some sort of sheep.
Something.
No, I don't think
Ram,
sheephorns
but
generally
nothing
go
has that
like
configuration. I've looked
Well,
and
I'm
I've
sure
tried
they
to
just
find out what it
put stuff
was.
together. Honey, it's a movie.
I know it's
And
not
it's got
that
the
kind of
little-
movie, kid. I know. And especially with the skulls that we're doing. Yeah. Oh wow, it just came into focus really clean. But
There you go.
But yeah, the research that I did on that, I was looking for the actual skull, and we do work with Phil from Wildlife Skulls on reproducing some original skulls. I couldn't find anything even close to this. I think it's something that they just made up, but that does fit.
I made it up.
Yeah, it does fit on all three heads, and the head has a magnet on it, so it helps to hold it in place. But it's got a strong neodymium magnet, and that helps to make removal easier because I wanted to eliminate as much stress as we could on the figure.
And that's crazy face there, maniacal.
Yep.
Maniacal.
That's the. I'm gonna hold the. That was the design that he had when he held the heart aloft in the sacrifice scene. But we have all these different hands that you can put on there.
It's still trying to focus on you.
Poor thing. But yeah,
Bring
it
it
comes
in.
with 12 hands, not counting the 2 that come with the pre-order exclusive, and
There
3
you go.
different portraits. The maniacal, the smiling, the evil kind of sneer. That one was one of my favorites, was that sneer.
The side eye head, as that one looks.
And then the one that he was like on the bridge scene, he had, yeah, that's the one that he had on the bridge scene when he was staring down Indiana Jones.
And the reveal skunk head paint.
Yeah. Yeah. And that actually, this is how nuts I am, is that I made that paint job like it was on his, which was a little heavier on one side than the other. So if you notice that,
lopsided.
Yep, a little bit lopsided, and that's because the resource material that I could find showed it just a little wobbled. So I put that in there as well. So I know it's been a long night.
Maybe his head was just a little funny shaped.
Yeah, I don't think so. That was Amish Puri. Amazing. I don't know if it was even called Bollywood back then, but an amazing actor in India on his own right. And that's why I think even more, it was just a slap in the face not to include Mola Ram in the original 25, Hasbro figures. They really should have put him in there because he was an amazing actor outside of Temple of Doom. But they
didn't give him give us any Pat Roach figures, and he was in every movie because he was like the stunt
every
guy.
indie movie.
He played multiple characters in every movie too.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes, and ours is going to be a fitting tribute to
he was like
Pat
the
Roach.
Consummate stunt, but show your face guy. Because usually stunt guy, you don't see their face. He's the stunt guy, you see his face.
Yes. I mean,
and
we first
he does
see
all the
him,
fight scenes and all the stuff.
We first see him in Raiders of the Lost Ark in the Raven Bar. He was one of the thugs that was in there. One of the big Nepalese thugs that he throws Indy around. And not the guy that gets hit on the head with the torch. Right. It's the other guy that throws Indy around like mad. But he was there.
Which guy that throws Indy around like mad?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
In the beginning. The big dude.
In the bar.
In the Raven Bar. But yeah, I loved him. I loved him in that. I loved him in as the German mechanic, because man, that was a hell of a fight.
Didn't you have him back there? You wanna show him?
Not the finished one. That's kind of one that I customized from a
Joe.
Gung
Ho. But then I was like, this doesn't look like him. I'm gonna be my OCD self and redo it. But now it's Pat Roach. It's even got his telltale operation scar on his deltoid / pec. But yeah, I love him in just about everything he's done. Temple of Doom, he was the giant thuggy guard, which we got that. And he was also the guy that was at the gong. So when the guys break out the Tommy gun and start shooting at Indy, he's the one that freaks out and ducks out of the way. But that big dude, that was Pat Roach. Then in Last Crusade, he was there again as the, I guess, the thug that was running with the major when they were on the dirigible. He was running up. He was in the black outfit. So, and that's just in Indiana Jones, because he was also a bad guy in one of my favorite movies, Willow. He played the main antagonist, the one that was with Saoirse.
Yeah, on
So,
the
Saoirse?
riding a horse.
Is that right? No.
No, that's the
No, it was
name
the
of
queen.
that actress.
Yeah, it was the queen. The evil queen.
But he also had one of them big hats with the herns and stuff, like Moly Moly.
Yeah, but look his IMDb up, because you're going to be surprised how many different films he was in. But I love Pat Roach just because he was one of those background people you didn't get enough.
He was in the background, but in the forefront at the same time. So
yeah, so I love him. And then of course, in addition to the German mechanic and the Thuggy Guard, we're also in development currently on Dietrich. He's going to be produced the same way with all the new technology and the impact-resistant resins and semi-rigids, which is really cool because you'll be able to pose them pretty much like you want. What else do we have? We've got him. We've got a Willie Scott that's in the works. And we've got the modular temple that we're working on that has the different walls and all that stuff. So please follow our page. If you aren't yet, probably the quickest way to get information is going to be on the Facebook page for the Scott Fensterer Studio.
Sculpture Studio.
Yeah, and you can get that also if you go to my public page, which is Scott C. Fensterer on Facebook. That's my public page, and then that has links to the Monster Manor as well as the Scott Fensterer Sculpture Studio.
Or you can just go to the website and click on whatever link for whatever social media it is that is your preference of use.
Yes.
So like if you're an Instagram person or a TikTok person or a YouTube person or Facebook or
that was another thing about the heart.
Previously,
the flaming heart.
Twitter, all the things.
Clear. The flame is going to be clear now. So
okay.
Is that it?
Yeah,
I think we've accomplished a lot.
It's almost 1 o'clock. It's quarter till. We've been on here for
unless you're West Coast
2 hours and 15 minutes. So say goodnight,
guys. Thank you for hanging with us as long as you have, and keep watching the page. We'll update it with photos and ordering information, and then hopefully 2025 will see us with an actual storefront on our website, because right now it's a little bit hard to get in there and update things. So we're trying to get that done as well. So thank you for hanging with us. If we don't talk to you again before then, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah for those that are in it now, Kwanzaa, and everything else. Thank you for hanging with us, and just message us if you.
Howard, we love you. Good night. Yep. Good night, Phil. We love you too. Kiss Sarah and the kids for me. Well, Micah and Susan, the peeps.
Custom God Dude, we thank you for always being a watcher and a supporter of what we do here. So any questions, again, like I said, message us. We check messages on absolutely everything. YouTube, all the stations you might be watching us on. We simulcast on YouTube, on the 2 Facebook pages for Monster Manor, as well as the Sculpture Studio, and then Instagram. So watch out for us and find us where you can, especially on TikTok. We are probably going to be going away, but if you do watch us on TikTok, please follow us elsewhere just in case, because we hear that there's rumblings of that ending again. So thank you all for being loyal friends and fans. We appreciate it, and check back often. Until next time, we thank you. Have a good night, a good weekend, and hopefully a very happy holiday season. Be safe.